Hello everyone, welcome to 10 for Tech, where we take up to 10 minutes to dive into bite-sized portions of technology. I'm your host today, James Lewis, and on today we want to take a few minutes to show you how to get started in Zoom. UNCP now has Zoom, and we want to show you how to get up and going and how to get started and where to log in. So first, let's go to a browser and type in uncp.zoom.us. And here is the landing page for Zoom. And if we notice over to our right, we have our sign in, or we have our join button where if we're just joining a meeting, we're not hosting, we can hit join and putting in our meeting ID and join our meeting. Let's go back to this page, the landing page. I want to show you a few things. Now, down to the bottom of this page, we have some wonderful help that you may find useful. You can find out some basic information of how you can get started at Zoom if you're a first-time user. This will show you what devices Zoom works on, how do you use it, and some helpful things that you may want to scroll there too. Let's go back into the page. And also there's a getting started guide here. Also, you can download the Zoom client to your desktop. And what this is the app that allows you to pull up Zoom meetings or join a Zoom meetings pretty much anytime without having to go to uncp.zoom.us. Also on this page, you have a support page. This link here will take you to Zoom Support Center, where you can find hundreds of videos that we mentioned earlier on just about everything in Zoom, from messaging, from meetings and webinars, from getting started, video sharing, and everything. So you may find some of these useful if you're fairly new to Zoom, or there's some particular things that you want to check out. So we're going to sign into Zoom, and I want to show you how to get started scheduling your meetings and setting up to do your sessions. You're going to come to your landing page here, and if you go to Profile, you can upload your picture, you can see your personal meeting room, and all of these things you can customize here and get your personal link, and you can change your email. You could do a lot of the same things that you could do with WebEx. Now let's go over to meetings, and we want to talk about scheduling a meeting. So this is a list of all of your scheduled meetings that's coming up for you can do your personal meeting room information here. You can, if you want to use your personal room for different types of meetings or events, or to meet one-on-one with somebody, you can go to this tab, just copy the information here. Or if you want to schedule, just schedule a meeting. And we want to go to the typical setup of naming our meeting. We can give it a description, the time if we want, and the duration. And we can select whether this is a recurring meeting and if we want registration to be required or not. And while we are scheduling the meeting, we could tell it to use our personal meeting ID or generate one automatically. Now, this next session is pretty important. So each of your meetings will have a passcode if you select it to do so. This keeps a lot of the Zoom bombing stuff from happening in your meeting where somebody's coming in without your permission. So this particular setup here is we have a passcode, and as you can see, we have a checkbox that says our waiting room. That means that every person that is in your particular meeting or event will go to this waiting room, and you will have to allow them in. Now, for some instances, this may work great for you, and you may want to do this so you can hand select those and make sure no one is coming in your meeting that's not supposed to. But if you're doing a big seminar or a big campus-wide event where you may have a couple of hundred people in your event, you may not want to have this selected. So be sure to think about these options as you plan and schedule for your event. So now let's go to the next area. When we're scheduling our meetings, we can select whether we want to have turn on the video and whether we want to allow our participants to turn on their video or keep them off. Also, we have options here to use the computers for audio or telephone, or of course using both. This is another important area here under the meeting options, and you can allow participants to join at any time. And if you're in a class or a big meeting, of course you may want to select mute participants upon entry so that when they come in you won't hear the dog barking or the baby in the background or a lot of miscellaneous noise. So you can make them require authentication, and you can select to automatically record the meeting. Now, if you're one of those users that's going to have breakout rooms, you can go in here and select this and create your breakout rooms ahead of time. And we'll have another video on that to show you how to do your breakout rooms. But here you can select and go ahead on and create your breakout rooms in advance, which is a really cool feature. And you can import it from a spreadsheet file too, and we'll have to go into that a little later on. This next option is the alternative host. So you can allow someone else to host your meeting if you're just scheduling and planning and you may not be there to the meeting, or you may want to give somebody else permission to start off the meeting. You're going to put that person's name, email address in this area here. Now, for what I'm seeing, this person has to already have a Zoom account or an account that's associated with Zoom for this to work properly. All right, so that just about handles it for scheduling a meeting. Let's review. So remember, you will have to decide if you're going to be using a passcode for your session and if you're going to use the waiting room option. Remember that. So another thing is, under the meeting options, you're going to want to decide if you're going to mute upon entry, or you're going to go ahead on and create your breakout rooms, or do you want to automatically record your meeting? And again, do you want to have an alternative host? Those are some of the key highlights, things that you want to think about as you plan your meeting. All right, so now I got my meeting all scheduled up. I want to join a meeting, and we're going to take a look at the interface and kind of see how it looks and how it feels compared to some other video programs. Okay, so I started this meeting and I got a pop-up box that's saying, hey, do I want to test my speaker and microphone? Or if I know I'm already good, do I want to join the computer with computer audio? Most of the time I use the computer audio, so we're going to say, hey, join with computer audio. And I can let this be the default by clicking this button as well. Okay, so now we are in our Zoom session. So let's check out some of the things that we have available to us. Now, if I go down here, starting on the left, I can mute my microphone here. And if I click on this upward arrow, I can select different devices. So I can I have an option between a few different microphones that's on my computer, such things as that. And I can also test the speaker and microphone again if I'm having some audio issues in my session. Also here, I can start or turn off my video. I can check out the security piece here of what I want to do in my session. I can see my participant window by going here. And also I have a few options here. I can invite, I can mute all, or I can, under this more option, this is where I can lock my meeting. I can enable the waiting room, or I can take that feature off. And also you could have an option to allow participants to unmute themselves, or you could take that away. Now, if I had participants in this particular session here, I will see their names, a list of them, and I will see a microphone and a video icon if they're using their video. And here I can click on their microphone. I can also hover over their name, and I can rename, or they can rename themselves rather. But if I had other people in this session, I can make other folks a co-host if I wanted to. So if I have to leave or I need to step out for a few seconds, if there's other people in this meeting, I can make them the co-host simply by clicking on their name. Okay, other things down here, we have a record option, we have the closed caption option, and we'll talk about this later on in future videos. We also have the breakout room options that we talked about, and we have another video that's going to go in a little bit more detail on that. Also, we have different type of reactions, emojis, and some of the cool stuff. And then the more button here. So the more button is something that we're going to talk about in the future. We'll show you how to go live on Facebook during your Zoom session, or how you can go to other options live on YouTube or custom streaming service. Now, if I wanted to share my computer screen, you just do like before, hit share and decide whether you want to share a desktop image or a particular app or your whiteboard. Or there's a couple of advanced options that you can go here, and you could do music only, content from another camera like a document camera, or if you want to share files from the cloud. You have all of these options available to you in Zoom. Now, if you want to play back a video from YouTube, Amazon Prime in your class, be sure to select these options at the bottom where it says share computer sound and optimize screen share for video clip. This will allow your audio from your video to pass from your computer to your remote participants. Okay, that'll just about do it for a good overview and intro into Zoom. If you have any questions, of course, be sure to hit us up at the help desk at 6260. Thanks again for joining us, and remember, it's really not that hard.